Welcome to Nerds Amalgamated, a podcast that covers the latest events in science, pop culture, and gaming.
I'm the professor, aspiring game developer, sci-fi aficionado, and completely and undeniably a geek trying to take over the world. I'll be breaking down the news from tech to gaming.
I am the DJ, a humble nerd, a big weeb,
and a watcher from the halls of the multiverse.
Just kidding. Anyways, I'll be breaking down all things comics to movies to anime.
Join us and stay hydrated as we quench you with witty banter, unintentionally hilarious hot takes, and trivia more fun than a night at the pub, courtesy of Nerds Amalgamated. Welcome back to Nerds Amalgamated. This week we're talking about cybersecurity in games, Leonardo da Vinci's DNA, and oh no, my show notes are frozen. What's the third topic, DJ?
Sword Art Online's warning, don't chase the West.
Alright, well, our first topic, cybersecurity in games. DJ, have you ever played Rainbow Six Siege?
Okay, full disclosure, I have never played Rainbow Six in any of those franchises, but I keep seeing a lot of hilarious stories about the franchise. From the infamous memes to the hilarious photos you can put your face on.
Oh, you're thinking of Rainbow Six Vegas?
Yeah.
Where you could take a screenshot, well, not a screenshot, a webcam capture of your face and paste it over your character's face.
Yep.
You can actually do that in Arma 3 with a bit of editing. It's not an official option, but it's good to see that still available. Yeah, so Rainbow Six Siege. Unpopular with the Rainbow Six fans because it's not Rainbow Six Vegas 3, but very popular with everyone else. Except hackers, who have spent the last couple of weeks hacking Rainbow Six Siege repeatedly. A couple of weeks ago, they were giving out free credits to unlock characters and posting chat messages talking about the Epstein list. This week, whoever's hacking it has decided to ban people for 67 days. Of course, we're all thinking of that meme that kids go on about these days.
I've seen that meme pop up every now and then on Facebook. I don't even know what it is, but yeah, it's just
It
getting
literally
annoying.
means nothing.
Literally.
It's just a funny little soundbite that the kids think is hilarious for some reason. So, yes, they finally got the game sorted out after the free credits and Epstein list hack. And it wasn't just the Epstein list, it was also harassing the CEO and Ubisoft employees. Which, to be fair, Yves Guillemot should stand down after fostering the terrible workplace culture they have there.
You are going on a crusade about this, huh?
Hey, I'm not the only one. A lot of people have sworn off Ubisoft games, not only because they're repetitive and dull, but because Yves Guillemot is still working there.
Yeah.
So it's not the only ones who have been hacked recently, though.
Hmm.
Last year, Call of Duty World War II, I believe, was hacked. Some of the older Call of Duties, I'm pretty sure, have remote code execution vulnerabilities, which is astoundingly bad.
Oh yeah.
Because that basically means hackers can get into your computer and run any program they want. So they can send you viruses, they can steal your Bitcoin wallet. So it hasn't been getting a lot of notice, but the last few years I've been hearing more and more about these severe hacks that are not just disrupting players, but are also um, seriously impacting people's security. And the fact that a lot of anti cheats these days run at kernel level.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't have to remind you of the CrowdStrike issue.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was because of a kernel level antivirus. So if the basically that was an entirely accidental thing. If I remember correctly, they published an update to their software that was relying on that counted the number of entries in a file and then took actions based on the data in the file. But the fun part happened when the file didn't have the expected number of lines.
Oh boy.
And that's why all the computers crashed that day. So anti-cheat could do that, but also being in the kernel exposes everything on your computer. So if
Hmm.
the anti-cheat gets compromised, everything is compromised.
Yeah. So, how does a major hack like this change player trust in Ubisoft?
Well, I mean, does Ubisoft have any player trust?
I I mean the
I mean,
game
they're
is
still
still
rolling in money.
yeah.
Even though they're on the verge of bankruptcy, they still are making a ton of money on the games they do release.
Oh, dude, have you seen the newest share price for Ubisoft?
What is it?
It's last time I saw it on Twitter, but their share price is now reduced to €6.
Okay.
So I'm like, yes, here we go. I'm just looking at it right now on Google. Ubisoft Entertainment SA. Today it's at €6.07.
And what was it, say, 6 months ago?
6 months ago, it was €80 from what I've saw.
Ouch!
That is actually
Yeah,
no,
okay. I
not
didn't
6 months.
realize it was that bad.
No, 6 months ago it was 10 euros. Now
Oh, okay.
now it's down to 6. But 5 years ago, it was like at €79. 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Like, they're still making money or they would have shut down. But looking into it, they're in a really bad place because a lot of their games are just basically reskinned versions of each other.
Hmm.
And players are getting bored because there's no innovation in Ubisoft games. There's the issues that have been going on that were exposed a few years ago with the workplace culture causing a lot of people to swear off Ubisoft games.
Yeah. And the Assassin's Creed games as well, like the not just Shadows. Shadows was an absolute shit show for certain. But then they
Yeah, a lot of that
sort of
was blown up by culture war bullshit.
oh yeah, it was
A lot
a
of
lot of
people making that more dramatic than it had to be.
it was not just the culture war bullshit. It was just a lot of like historical inaccuracies from.
Oh no, historical inaccuracies in my sci-fi game.
Yeah.
The games have
Um,
never been historically accurate.
hey, what about Total War and Age of Empires?
Those are different games. We're
Eh,
talking about Assassin's Creed here. Stick
okay.
to the topic.
Sure. So I'll stick to the topic. Okay, sure. That
People
said,
were
though, there
complaining
was
Assassin's Creed Shadows was not historically accurate when not a single Assassin's Creed game has been historically accurate.
understandable. What I was gonna say is it was not just the shit show that happened with Shadows. There was also they sort of brought back the fandom when Mirage released its DLC. How many years after the original game?
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, and it's sort of, they sort of won back the fans with this one. So yeah, the Valley of Memory that came out. Oh, they didn't really say when did it come out. Damn it.
Anyway,
Yeah,
it's not
but
just Ubisoft who have terrible cybersecurity practices.
hmm,
It's basically every company in the world. Not just games companies. But I think games companies get a pass a lot of the time because people don't take them seriously. Like, you wouldn't think my silly little game is going to destroy your computer or steal your money. But it's a vector for hackers to do just that. And games have a huge install base. Like, uh, I would expect Microsoft Office to have, sorry, Microsoft 365 Copilot app. Stupid bloody name. I would expect that to have great cybersecurity. And that's on almost every computer on the planet.
yeah.
Well, every Windows computer.
If I
But
oh, sorry.
go on.
I was gonna say if I recall correctly, Microsoft's newest update has been doing a lot of damage to people's computers.
What kind of damage? I
Um,
know a few months ago there was that thing where it could damage your NVMe drives,
I think that's the
but
one.
they fixed that and they've made it a focus on improving NVMe support. So,
Yeah.
say what you will about Microsoft, at least they're improving slightly, which is a surprise considering the last couple of years they've done everything they can to not improve.
Hmm.
But I'm not switching back. Linux all the way.
Figures.
And
But
the
with
funny
the
thing about cybersecurity in games is
hmm,
that companies are so uptight about DRM and anti piracy. If they would improve their cybersecurity, they could make it harder to hack their games and steal them. Because sometimes the the games get stolen from the company servers before release. as famously happened to Half-Life 2, which basically forced Valve to admit they weren't ready and they had to delay it. I can't think of any more recent versions, but there was a game a few years ago which has de novo DRM, except they accidentally released it without the DRM. So there's one particular version of the game you can download and play without DRM.
Wasn't that wasn't that a Doom game, or was it a
Yeah,
totally different game?
that rings a bell.
It was Doom Eternal, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. So that's not really a cybersecurity one as a double check you've done everything right problem.
Hmm.
But there was the Sony PlayStation Network was famously hackable back in the 2010s.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I recall correctly, the uh, the reason why why the hacking group decided to hack the PlayStation Network was because oh, I just want people to touch grass.
Oh, so one of the hacks was North Korea who were upset about The Interview,
Oh
which is a
no.
movie about assassinating Kim Jong Un.
Yeah. They released the movie, so they released the movie entirely.
Funny movie, but it's a bit forgettable.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all movies by, was it Seth Rogen who made that?
Yeah, it was Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Yeah, pretty much all their movies are reasonably funny but forgettable.
Yep, yep. So with this sort of incident, if this could happen to Siege, what does this say about other major multiplayer games like Battlefield and Call of Duty and your sporting
Well,
games as well?
I've just given you an example of Call of Duty hacks a few
Yeah.
minutes ago.
Yep, that's true.
Battlefield, EA has managed to get off fairly clean with cybersecurity, but I think, yeah, we're seeing a shift from hackers who are just out to cause trouble in games, whether that's by being invincible so you can't kill them, or wall hacking or whatever, so that they can stomp you into the dirt and make you feel bad, to hackers who are out to cause actual damage by, yeah, stealing your credit card number or sending you a virus or something along those lines. So I think the bigger the game is, the more of a target it's going to be for these hacking groups.
And also, it's going to force a lot of publishers to start treating cybersecurity as a public-facing feature, right, and not just a back-end issue.
Yeah. Fortunately, I haven't had to swear off any games because of their poor cybersecurity, but I did play a bit of Call of Duty World War II back when that was in 2021, I think, before it got hacked. And I stopped playing it, well, completely a long time before it got hacked, but I'm never going to touch it because I can't trust that that it's not going to get hacked again.
Hmm.
Not that I even like COD. I only played it for the zombies mode, which featured David Tennant.
So how much of this hack Uh, actually, no. Let me rephrase the question. How much patience should long-term players realistically have after incidents like this?
None at all, because this sort of thing shouldn't be happening.
Hmm.
And sure, the Ubisoft developers will roll back whatever changes the hackers made. But if they're in the game server, there's no guarantee that they haven't also pivoted to the server that handles payments. And that would be a very bad thing because then they'd get your credit card numbers.
Uh, so what responsibilities does Ubisoft have to reassure players that their accounts are actually safe? Like, what would Ubisoft have to do to tell them, "Hey, you can come back and play Rainbow Six, guys"?
I don't think they I don't think this is going to have a long time effect among people who aren't already cybersecurity savvy.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people are just going to see game got hacked, wait for it to come back up, and go back to playing. But I think we all need to take a a stronger cybersecurity stance because everything's online these days, and a lot of people just don't think about it. So I think, yeah,
I mean,
long term, I'd like to see game developers focusing on cybersecurity to make sure that hacks don't happen.
hmm.
Not necessarily because I think uh, that giving out free credits is a bad thing. Like, that doesn't really harm anyone except the publisher, and they get to roll it back anyway. But what does harm people is having other things hacked.
Hmm.
And yeah, the way hackers get around is they look for a weak point, and once they're in, they go and pivot to other systems that because once you're behind a firewall, often there's less security between company servers than there is from the internet to the company server. So yeah, we just don't know the long term effect of this hack, whether the hackers have stolen all of the payment details or the code for the upcoming games or employee details, as happened to someone recently, and are now just causing trouble because they've got everything they want, or
Hmm.
whether they got in and they're just causing trouble because they just want to see the world burn.
You reckon Ubisoft got lucky from this hack?
No, I reckon it's a
As
really
stupid
bad
as it
time to
was.
be hacked
Yeah,
over Christmas and New Year
true,
because
true.
everyone's got time off. People have, particularly young people, have gift money that they might want to spend on their favorite game, and they can't because the game's offline because of hackers.
Hmm. Can you okay, if this was to happen in Valorant, oh man. There would have been a lot more angry people on Riot.
Even worse, League of Legends
Oh,
junkies.
Riot would have gone scorched earth within hours about this. Oh, also, you know how you were talking about the time uh the lifetime of the product of the game, for example. You reckon live service games should come up with a warning label after 5 years, saying like
Why
yours
5 years specifically?
wouldn't I mean, 5 years wouldn't it was because sometimes the games wouldn't get support after 5 years, wouldn't get much support.
Yeah, and some games lose support after weeks or months.
True, true.
What I reckon should happen,
Hmm.
back to Stop Killing Games for a moment, is live service games should have a an indicator somewhere on the box or on the store page that says this game relies on an internet connection to operate, um, or relies on external servers. And if the game can't be operated without the official servers and it would be unplayable, they should put that up front.
Yeah, but even if if you were to say to them like you need an internet connection, it feels like a signboard that says, "Yeah, we'll always be vulnerable as well."
Yeah, but that would mean that people would know upfront when they're looking at buying a game. It would it would force people to think about it if they were scrolling through the store page and saw a badge saying requires official servers, then they'd see that and might take a pause and think, I don't want to get involved with this game if it's going to be taken offline in an unknown time frame.
Yeah.
Uh, but on the cybersecurity side, yeah, that ties into Stop Killing Games too, because some games have been shut down officially because hackers have found a major security flaw in the server. And that leaves the players without an official server, ergo they cannot play. So, yeah, I think from a Stop Killing Games and a cybersecurity perspective, games that require official servers should indicate that up front. Like how Steam now has this game has DRM or anti cheat as a section on the store page.
So you're saying these incidents are accelerating the calls for offline modes and reduced server dependency?
I'd like that to happen. I
Hmm.
don't think it will, though.
Nah.
But we should move on to our second topic, Leonardo da Vinci and his DNA in a paintbrush.
So apparently, scientists working with Leonardo da Vinci DNA project have used gentle swabbing methods to collect biological material from a small red chalk drawing called Holy Child, which some scholars think Da Vinci made, though its authorship is disputed. From the swabs, researchers extracted tiny fragments of DNA, including Y chromosome sequences, when compared with DNA from 15th century letters written by a male relative of Da Vinci, several of the sequences fall into E1b 1b haplogroup, a paternal lineage common in Tuscany, Da Vinci's birthplace, suggesting the DNA might match his family's genetic background. This
Okay, so
what
we know it's male DNA from someone descended from Tuscany.
Yep.
That narrows it down a lot, but it doesn't necessarily say that that's Leonardo's DNA.
Yeah, that's why scientists are cautious because there's no definitive proof of the DNA coming from Da Vinci himself.
Yeah, it could be. I see the article it makes my point for me, but it
Hmm.
could belong to one of Da Vinci's students. So no, it's weird we call him Da Vinci, which basically means Leonardo from Vinci.
Yeah.
Although that's perfectly normal in the Netherlands, where lots of people were named Van something, which means from somewhere.
Ah.
My favourite Dutch name being Van de Keuken, which means from the kitchen. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich, mate. No, so back to the topic at hand.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be anyone who's touched the work in the last however old it is.
Yeah. And the worst part is he has left no direct descendants, and his remains can't be readily sampled for verification. Other people may have touched the artwork over the centuries, leaving their own DNA.
Yeah, so how would we prove that? Let's say they got a perfect DNA sample
Yeah.
showing a man from Tuscany. How would they prove that's Leonardo's DNA? Because the article points out that Leonardo's tomb was destroyed and his remains, uh, like mixed with others.
Hmm.
So no one's sure which bones are Leonardo's. So
Unless if you want to go for earlier artifacts, like maybe what was it like baby hair, for example. You know how is it I'm not sure whether it's an Italian tradition, but I know some English traditions they have like a lock of baby hair from the sun or something like that.
yeah,
They could do something like that.
assuming that that survived this long, they could. No,
Yeah,
they couldn't. Hair
they
doesn't
could.
contain DNA.
Okay. All
What
right.
you're
Yeah.
thinking is hair roots have DNA,
Hmm.
but if they just snip the hair off with scissors instead of yanking it out, there wouldn't be any DNA.
I don't want to traumatize the baby, a baby Leonardo.
Exactly.
Ah!
I see in the article, though,
Yeah.
they are analysing uh, Antonio da Vinci's bones, who is Leonardo's grandfather, and comparing the DNA with known relatives of da Vinci, and have a lock of hair that they believe came from his beard, from Leonardo's beard. So, yeah, maybe they have roots in that, but I don't believe you can get DNA from a beard.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to authenticate or value his work.
Yeah, it's like Shakespeare.
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy theory that Shakespeare never existed.
Is this similar to like the moon landing never happened kind of thing?
No, it's not quite as
Ridiculous as
science
that.
denying and racist as most conspiracy theories.
What's this one comprised of?
Basically, there was another playwright or group of playwrights who made up the character of William Shakespeare so that they could publish works anonymously.
So a pen name, basically.
Yeah. So the conspiracy theory goes that nobody is sure whether Shakespeare actually existed or if someone just took on the name for the purposes of writing plays.
Hmm.
And then there's some debate about certain works, whether they were actually written by Shakespeare. Actually, Tom Scott has a video on it about why Shakespeare couldn't have been French. And the reason being that, if I recall correctly, the iambic pentameter that Shakespeare mostly used is something that comes more naturally to native English speakers than French people, just because of the structure of the language. So Shakespeare couldn't have been French because a French person wouldn't know the iambic pentameter. This does, as we mentioned the other night when we were doing the discussing this using this topic, this does remind me of that Futurama episode where Leonardo was the dumbest of the planet that he came from.
And he left his robot animatronio.
Yeah,
Oh my god. So the way they are analyzing the way they're using DNA to study art in this one, you reckon this is groundbreaking, or you reckon this is just, oh yeah, this is just a trend, a science trend kind of thing?
I mean, I'm not sure what they're trying to get out of this.
Hmm.
I guess if you could prove that particular works were actually authored by Leonardo, the uh, that could clarify whether whether he did actually create all of these amazing things. The Like the Shakespeare conspiracy, there's some debate about uh, particular works and whether Leonardo created them or not. So, from an art history perspective, I think it's interesting, but I don't know what the scientists are trying to gain from this.
Okay, here's a question though. What if we get the DNA right and it reveals something incredibly scandalous about Da Vinci's ancestry, or hell, should they publish it or keep it
Yeah,
as a
why
secret?
wouldn't they?
Uh, okay, if they publish it though, like you will see a lot of Da Vinci fans going, "No, you." I thought of Leonardo da Vinci as this hero. Now I just found out the truth. I will never follow his works. That kind of thing. It's like when you meet
Yeah,
your
if they
heroes for
can't
the.
handle it, that's a them problem.
It's like when you meet your favorite football player and he turns out to be an absolute douchebag, and you go like, I will never follow this football player ever again." So if we trace Da Vinci genetically, are we edging towards cloning? Like
Cloning Leonardo.
yeah.
Well, they could. I don't know what they would get from it because, nature versus nurture. Most
Oh
of
yeah.
Leonardo's intelligence would have been from nurture rather than nature. I don't believe, based on the what I've read, there's a huge difference in intelligence between different people.
Hmm.
I think a lot of it comes down to the nurture. So it's the environment Leonardo was raised in. And yeah, it's a interesting um
Dilemma.
yeah, an interesting dilemma, which I
Yeah.
suppose you could maybe test it by cloning Leonardo, but it would be easier to clone Stephen Hawking or Einstein or
Einstein,
someone
yeah.
who lived much more recently where we can get DNA that we know belonged to them.
Oh, but then that would be scary. Just recreate. Imagine we recreate every single historical figure. That
Yeah,
would
well, I've
be
always wondered how in Futurama they get the heads,
yeah,
because they have the heads of a bunch of people who are long dead.
yeah, yeah. Like Charles de
And then there's
Gaulle,
that
for example.
episode, yeah, that episode where they drink the preserving liquid and it time travels. Like, that doesn't make much sense because the head would be cloned. So, wouldn't they just go back to when the head was cloned rather than the time when the person was actually alive?
Hmm.
But then Futurama doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah, it's comedy. It's sci-fi comedy at best.
Yeah. It's not even particularly well, no, it is actually it's actually quite consistent with itself.
Hmm.
But I was watching it. I've finally gotten around to watching the latest reboot.
Yeah.
And there's an episode where um Kif and Amy go and pick up their kids who were born in like season 3. And the so they make a point of saying that was 20 years ago. We're 20 years older now, but nobody's aged at all.
Oh yeah, but that's because of the did what wasn't there an episode prior to that where Fry, Professor, and Bender were in in a pod and they lived through the time they lived through the time loops.
Yeah, but they come back to when they left.
Yeah.
So they would have only aged for the time they were in the time machine.
Yep.
So if anything, they would be even older than the rest of the characters because the rest of the characters didn't time travel. But then again, the professor is like 180 years old now. So maybe they just don't age very quickly in the future.
Hmm. I
Which
just thought
must be technologically, not genetic, or Fry would have aged. The
yeah.
others might have, might stay young, but Fry would definitely age because he's not from the future.
And that's
Anyway,
but here's another question you have to ask though in regards to this top in regards to Da Vinci though. Can you imagine we recreate all the historical figures and ask them the question, how did they actually die? And they'll be like, oh, I actually died because someone actually killed me. And be like, wait a minute, I thought he died of natural causes.
how would they know that?
Hmm.
If you clone someone, they don't get their memories.
Wouldn't their I always thought they would still get the memories would stick as well.
No.
Oh, okay.
As far as anyone will admit to, there's been no clones of humans ever made, but there are clones of animals. And those animals don't exhibit the memories of their past life.
Okay. All right. I know.
Anyway, I think we've gone way off track here.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we should go on with our next topic. Sword Art Online's director says don't chase the West, which makes me think of that song from that musical, Go West, doo 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 doo. You know the one?
Who sang that song?
I don't know. It was just on a CD my parents had, or a tape, and
I
they
don't
said it's
find.
from a musical.
Ah, okay. So, yeah, Sword Art Online's director ha has says that Japanese anime has been rapidly growing in global audiences to the point it's filling gaps left by Hollywood, especially after events like the writer's strike and COVID-19 on Western films. He notes moves like Aniplex's acquisition of Crunchyroll and anime's exploding popularity overseas as signs of the trend. While he's proud of anime's global reach, uh, the director warns against trying too hard to create content specifically for global tastes. According to him, assuming what will be popular overseas often misses the mark and can lead to commercial or creative failure. He points
It's so
to
can assuming what's popular locally.
Hmm. Yeah, the vice versa thing. Yeah, that's true. He points to differences in things like political correctness in the Western market, says that some elements common in Japanese media, like certain fan service tropes, may not land well elsewhere if creators deliberately try to tailor their content.
You know what
While
else
he
doesn't land as well?
was,
She's not a child, she's a 12,000-year-old demon.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so the director does support one aspect of globalization, as in better global awareness of creators behind anime, such as the directors, cinematographers, etc. He praised how some overseas markets spotlight individual staff members, something he would like to see more in Japan too.
Okay, so there's no cultural worship of individual directors in Japan. I never
Yeah.
realized that because you hear about like the author of particular manga as being the driving force behind it, but
Hmm.
I didn't realize that didn't carry over to anime.
Some do, but some don't. Like some of the manga creators would be part of the work going like, okay, this is what I want to, this is how it should be done, this is how it shouldn't be done, that kind of thing. And some of the anime directors would not be happy with the movies these days.
Okay.
But yeah, the it does raise a couple of interesting questions, like is anime actually catching up to Hollywood creatively, or just filling a temporary gap while Hollywood is stumbling? Because Hollywood at the moment is going through the superhero phase.
Yeah, I think we're going through a phase where it spreads out. People are
Hmm,
more aware of international media than purely American media.
hmm.
So I think what we'll see is people. How do I put this? I think what we'll see is, yeah, people watching a lot more Japanese and Indian films. We saw, you know, K drama getting a huge thing from Squid Game,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, the other. I mean, K-pop's a massive thing.
Oh yeah, like K-pop Demon Hunters and stuff.
Yeah, even before Demon Hunters,
Yeah.
K-pop was a huge um,
Medium.
cultural export.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's also because you're seeing a lot of animes doing a lot of taking a lot of creative risks that Hollywood doesn't really do much. Like even Stranger Things, for example, that final
Don't.
season. Okay,
I haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil it,
okay, cover
or
your
I
ears.
will end you.
All right, all right, all right. I'm gonna spoil it then. But you see what I mean? Like even with the superhero movies, it's just so safe. Like they're not taking any
Yeah.
creative risks. You know?
Well, I've said it before. You can't afford to take a risk when all of your um, oh, where's my brain gone? You can't afford to take a risk when you've poured all your money into one project. You
Yeah,
need it to make a return.
yeah. Although that said, though, like when it comes to animes going to the global market, the question you have to ask is, can creators ever accurately predict what the international audience want?
No, they can't even accurately predict what the national audience wants.
Yeah, so you reckon it's a creative issue then, or a business issue, or is it just both?
It's a creative issue.
Oh,
Yeah, the thing is, you know, any creative work is a risk
hmm,
because you don't know if it's going to make a return or not. The less risky thing is to do what Hollywood is doing at the moment and just make superhero slop. The um, then you can hope that you don't have to, you know, that you make a huge return.
hmm,
If you, but if you spread out what you're doing and make a dozen smaller films, then you can hopefully make the same return. It's probably going to be a bit less because not every film is going to be a hit, but you'll have more experimental stuff, and then you've got the chance for something huge to blow up.
yeah.
And I don't think Japan is immune to having that happen. I think Japan was to uh, if Japan was to make whatever their equivalent of superhero slop is, it would do just as well as Marvel does here, you know, in the West. And then people would get tired of it and it would fade away, just like it's happening here.
So you don't. So could you see anime face like franchise fatigue that Hollywood
Yeah.
has?
I mean, I'm surprised there isn't isekai fatigue.
Oh shit! Although even though like with anime having global success, does that change how studios choose projects or greenlight risks?
Um,
And and oh, sorry.
I'd like it to. Like I said, I'd like more experimental stuff.
Hmm.
I just don't know if it will happen.
Yeah, and plus, even if you give like experimental stuff, will the creators now be pressured to self censor before the audience can even react?
No, that's only if you're doing something really safe, like Hollywood does.
Hmm.
If you're trying to produce something experimental, then you don't want to censor yourself.
Yeah, 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 I can see that. Yeah, because I think the moment anime chases Western approval, it will just start losing its soul.
Fair enough, you can have that opinion.
Yep, fair enough, fair enough. I mean, I mean, come on, anime. The reason why anime is also succeeding is because it's ignoring more of the Western trends anyway. So yeah,
That's a theory you can work on.
yep, that's true. That's true.
Well, we will have a short break and be back with our shout outs, wacky movies, etc. And we are, as always, supported by Res, the focus and energy formula for the long game, relieving
Yeah.
fatigue and eye strain, supporting eye health, mental endurance, and stamina. It gives you hit points IRL. Get 10% off with the code NERDS, NERDS, at drinkrez.com. And for our shoutouts this week, we have the 8th of January 1947, the birthday of David Bowie, greatest musician to ever live.
What? I thought it was John Lennon.
No, because you see, what's his name? Mark Chapman, the guy who killed John Lennon,
Yeah.
went out that night with plans to kill the second best musician ever. Seriously, it's a weird connection. He was planning on killing Bowie and Lennon, and he just happened to run into Lennon first. So we could have had a very different world if John
Oh.
Lennon had survived and Bowie hadn't. So, he was born on the 8th of January 1947 in Brixton in London. His mother, Margaret Mary Peggy Burns, Nee Burns, was born at Shorncliffe Army Camp near Cheriton, Kent. She was a waitress at a cinema, and his father, Hayward Stenton John Jones, was from Doncaster, Yorkshire, and was a promotion officer for children's charity Bernardo's. They lived at 40 Stansfield Road, which I hear is actually opening up for an open day soon, which is a bit weird. Like, oh, this is where Bowie lived until he was 8 years old or whatever. Like, he didn't, as far as I know, create any of his work there. So,
Oh, but still a
are we a
mon.
cult?
I mean, there are significant places like, oh, this is where Jesus was born, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're a cult.
Yep.
No problem with that though. He attended Burnt Ash Junior School, where his voice was considered adequate by the school choir. He just demonstrated above average ability on the recorder, and his dancing was strikingly imaginative. It's a bit weird that Bowie was told that his voice wasn't good enough. I
A
guess
lot.
that I guess he grew into it.
Hmm. I mean, a lot of musicians have that initial like setback, or like, yeah, you can't sing, or yeah, you can't play, yeah, you're shit, that kind of thing, and then later they become legends.
Yeah, like weren't the Beatles rejected a bunch of times before they got got published?
Yeah, yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah,
On
yeah.
hearing Little Richard's song Tutti Frutti, Bowie said that he had heard God. And Bowie was a Cub Scout, which another connection of amazing people who were scouts, including yours truly. No, my ego's not that big. I can't say that without laughing at myself. So Bowie had a brother, Terry Burns, who had schizophrenia and seizures, but was a major inspiration to him. There's a number of Bowie songs that are thought to be about his brother. And he got his famous eye condition from a fight in 1962 during a fight over a girl when his friend punched him in the eye with a ring.
Oh, that's painful.
Yeah.
Oh,
His pupil was dilated, which made his eye appear brown. Although he remained on good terms with George Underwood, who was the one who punched him. And sadly, 10 years ago, on the 10th of January, David Bowie died of liver cancer. Just 2 days after the release of his last album, Black Star. So I really hope that he wasn't in a coma or anything for those last few days and he had an idea of how impactful his final album was.
mm. Bowie was also famous for was a famous actor as well, and is it is oh, many talk the movie, the Labyrinth movie.
Yes. He also did voice acting and music for other movies, uh, acting, and he also made a video game,
No
Omicron the
kidding.
Nomad Soul, published by Quantic Dream, who you might recognize from Detroit Become Human.
Oh.
Yes, that's a David Cage game with Bowie music in it, and it features a Bowie concert. It's weird. I've played the first bit of it. I've been meaning to get back into it, but that's been 10 years since I've played it, so
Mm.
I probably have to start again. But you basically transfer your soul into another guy's body, and the first thing you do is go to his house and have sex with his girlfriend.
Oh, so basically like Wonder Woman 1984.
I haven't seen that.
There's a there. Okay, so for those who haven't seen the movie, there is a scene where, earlier in the movie, Diana has a wishing stone and she wishes for her ex boy for someone she loved to come back, and basically the guy does her dead boyfriend comes back, but is in another guy's body, and they had sex.
Okay. Well, in this case, I don't know if the guy, like, I don't remember if the guy whose body you take is still conscious or if you swap bodies or what, but yeah, it's a bit weird that basically the first thing you do is hook up with somebody else's partner while you're investigating whatever it is that is supposed to be going on in this other
That's
dimension.
that's some very sketchy morality there.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Bowie album, DJ?
Oh, not a Bowie, not a Bowie solo album, but wait, was he the one that sang the Perfect Day song?
Which one?
Um, there was a okay, so no, that's Lou Reed. David Bowie was part of a collaborative with I think BBC, and yeah, BBC in the 1997, and it was him with Lou Reed, Bono, Sky Edwards, Elton John, to name a few, and they all sang the Perfect Day song. Just a perfect day. Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun, dun.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
think I've ever heard that one.
oh, it's really good.
I'll look
It's
it
a
up
really good song.
so I can check it out after this podcast because if there's new Bowie music I haven't heard, I want to hear it.
You're a Bowie nut at this point.
I always have been. Ever since I heard my first Bowie song, which was Laughing Gnome.
Was he also the guy that sang the "Life on Mars" song, or was that
Yeah,
different guy? Oh yeah,
that's only one of his most famous songs.
yeah. Because there used to be back in the early 2000s, there was a TV show called Life on Mars, and they played that song constantly as a theme song.
Yep, and the successor to that show, Ashes to Ashes, is also named after a Bowie song.
Mm.
But enough about Bowie. What's our messed up moment, DJ?
So we were talking about Da Vinci, and we were speaking so highly about him. Now there is a dark side to Da Vinci, as I was saying, the scandalous part of his history. Um, that was how he studied human anatomy to improve his ability to capture the human form in great detail. Like, for example, his studies on muscles on the shoulder and arm, as well as bones on the foot. And he was able to do that by breaking the law by dissecting corpses and sketching his findings. Or, as a clarification, the Catholic Church made the dissection of corpses illegal unless you were a physician.
Yeah, but everyone was doing it.
So, a lot of people have theorized that Da Vinci had to get grave robbers to retrieve bodies for him, and once he discovered a body part he wanted to study, Da Vinci would prepare it by washing it and then drawing it.
Okay.
So, eventually, he was able to get special permission through a hospital doctor to continue his studies through looking at cadavers. But one of his major discoveries was the anatomy of the human heart. And how he'd uncovered the heart having more than two chambers and studied its physiology. Now, the messed up part was he has dissected over 30 corpses.
Just a couple.
just a couple, and his
Well,
collaborate.
they couldn't preserve them as well back then, so they'd go off after a couple of days.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, his collaborator in Pavia, Mark Antonio del Torre, who died in 1511 of a plague, which is perhaps why Leonardo set this work aside, or it maybe has been other personal and professional pressures. But by the end of 1511, he was living in the villa of East Milan, where he continued to make sketches of not only human anatomy but dogs, birds, the way the blood flows. So it wasn't just humans; it was just animals, anything with blood in it.
Okay, I'm fine with dissecting people, but not the doggies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The idea of this was basically to figure things out.
Yep.
But yeah, cadavers though, yeah.
Well, I don't think that's that messed up.
Yeah, yeah, but it's Leonardo da Vinci. Come on.
Yeah, but everyone was doing
Don't give me that Lance Armstrong excuse.
it.
Everybody was doing it, so I did it. Ooh.
Fair enough. Ah, one shout out I missed. I must have scrolled past it.
Yep. Oh,
The birthday of William Hartnell, which was
oh
also on the
yeah.
8th of January. What a coincidence.
Damn.
William Hartnell being the first Doctor.
Yeah, oh man, I saw some of his earlier works, and man, he was very soft spoken.
Really?
Yeah, the like like the trailer for the Peter Capaldi's final episode as the Doctor, and how that famous line, uh death and living, and at the end of it he goes, "Have you have no heart?"
Yeah, but that wasn't actually William Hartnell.
Really? That was
No,
I
William
thought.
Hartnell died years ago. That was David Bradley impersonating William Hartnell.
Oh yeah, yeah, but but Hartnell initially spoke that line, didn't he?
I don't recall it,
Okay.
but yeah, there's some like David Bradley does a pretty good voice impression and look impression of William Hartnell,
Hmm.
but I've also seen some people say that the characterization of William Hartnell was not the best in that episode. So I think I've just got to take that excuse to go and rewatch the whole thing.
Yeah, this was that phrase, "Have you have no heart?" This was a line spoken by the character Polly to a Cyberman, which was the final serial to feature William Hartnell as the first Doctor.
Yeah. Yes, well, Cybermen have no heart. That's
Hmm.
kind of their thing.
Yeah,
They've replaced all their flesh with robot bits.
yeah. He was the he was the guy. If I also recall correctly, he was the guy that was behind the whole regeneration scene as well. Like, no,
Oh,
not the
really? The first
regenerations.
Doctor regenerated and William Hartnell was the first, was behind it?
No, as in like he was if no, as in like because of his ailing health, he
Ah,
had to
right.
take some time away, and then They thought, okay, how do we cover this? Oh, we'll do this regeneration thing.
Fair enough then.
Yeah. But yeah, some people had high regard for him. Some people were like, eh. He was a grumpy guy.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that Carol Ann Ford, who played the Doctor's granddaughter Susan,
Hmm.
she had a cameo appearance in the episode The Intergalactic Song Contest last year. Last year. And I'm really hoping that she turns up again soon because she's not getting any younger. And I'd like to, you know, she's the last surviving original cast member.
Yeah.
So a lot of fans would like to see her again.
Hmm. Ah, here we go. That's the quote was basically emotions, love, pride, hate, fear. Have you
Yeah,
have no emotions, sir? That's the line. Not the have you have no
okay.
heart. That was the yeah,
Yeah, I assumed it was about emotions, but
yeah.
was being, deliberately obtuse. Anyway,
Fair enough.
a wacky movie. On the 8th of January 1992, Evil Toons premiered in the US on home video. So you know it's gonna be great. Directed by Fred Olen Ray, it starred David Carradine, Dick Miller, and Artie Johnson. And the plot: Bert has a cleaning company and hires 4 women to clean an isolated house. They find an old book, a dagger, and a soul shred, and when one of them reads an incantation, she unleashes an evil beast on our world.
Of
The
course,
film
so
took
it's
8
an
days
evil
to
book.
film. Sorry, DJ?
I was gonna say, of course, it's always an evil book.
Yeah, yeah, you never hear about the haunted iPad, do you?
Oh no, we've got that. It's called Megan.
Because of the high cost of animation, the animated demon is on screen for approximately 90 seconds. Which, that Jaws worked really well because the animatronics broke down and they only included it for a few shots.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing. The director said that the Hollywood executives would not finance the film, and even Roger Corman turned us down. He said it was too risky, so we did it ourselves.
That's a low courage.
Yep. And it is loosely connected to H.P. Lovecraft. One character mentioned Miskatonic University, and the book resembles the Necronomicon. The director pitched the film to Roger Corman and said he could make it for $250,000. Corman said the budget was too low, so Ray made the picture for $140,000.
How is 250K budget low? Like, when you compare it to 140,000, okay, that's very, very low.
And in a scene where Bert, who's played by Dick Miller, watches the film A Bucket of Blood on TV, he says, "How come this guy never won an Academy Award?" The guy he refers to is Dick Miller. And of course, it's a low budget horror movie, so they hired pornographic actresses because they had no problem during doing nude scenes.
Was a oh man.
It's weird that that gets overlapped. Like, sexy and scary feel like two things that shouldn't be combined.
Nope. Nope. Although nowadays it's like sexy, scary, and then girl bossy.
As a combination.
the Yeah.
Are you scared of girl bosses?
No, I'm just
Are you
I'm just
sure?
no, yeah, I am.
I think you're scared of girl bosses.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, that's all we have for this week. Look after yourselves, stay hydrated, and we'll see you next time.
Uh, Check out our Ko-fi account. If you want to support the show, check out our Twitch as well. We'll be streaming, live streaming games and having banter. Stay happy, stay nerdy. See you guys.